Nap time.
Everybody got their mics all good to go?
Yep, yep.
Heavy?
Yep.
All right. Welcome. What is this? Week 5 now? It was week 4 or 5. Welcome
Who
to
knows?
Welcome to week whatever of Some Salty Gamers podcast. Hello.
Yo, yo.
We are the founders and of course co-host. This is Crimson Waters, aka Mitchell. I have with me today, as usual, the beautiful Heavy since 1911 and the confused Monoshiro. I also
Why
have.
You gotta make a girl blush?
You know I got to.
Why am I confused?
You see, you asked a question. That's why. I also have with me Thirsty Dervish, PK or Def if he/she is going to share their audio or just listen to our stupidity/conversation. I also have the fabulous CC Drake over here on the mic, but you're not going to hear anything from her. Today I am still grinding out my hunter on this account because I don't play this account. Unless it's
And
time.
we got the static from PK's mic going on
Right? Just...
And it just had to start happening when we went live.
It purposefully started happening when we went live.
Yeah.
She's not slick. She's not slick. Hold on, what quest I gotta do? You still with me there? Right, Thirsty? I can't with your name, man. I'm not used to it. That's better.
Oh, that's better.
Our topics today, we're going to be Heavy's gonna answer that because I have a crap memory.
Jesus Christ. You don't know.
No. I know what we were gonna talk about. We were gonna talk about NFAT, but I'm sure, like, Heavy basically picked the topics for this week, so I'm pretty sure you have more in-depth questions in mind that you wanna, ask us and get our opinions on. And that's the real reason why I tossed it to you, because, basically you're gonna be leading the charge here, and we'll just be
Fair enough.
basically along for the ride and giving our opinions.
Alright, give me 1 second. Okay. So, granted, with everything that's been going on politically and with the protests/riots going on lately, a militia group has formed and demonstrated in, I believe, Georgia and Kentucky. They call themselves the NFAC, which stands for Not Fucking Around Coalition. They have become very militant.
Militant-ish.
Militant-ish. We'll get into this later. Topics of discussion for later, so. And was wondering how y'all would view it when this group has come off as pretty racist. Is it okay for a exclusively black militia group to want to demand that the government hand over land to them so they can create in their own words, black ethno-state? Does that fall under the banner of racism? Or is that just one of, like, the newer versions of reparations?
There's a new version of reparation? I thought reparations were
reparations every time you turn around.
It's basically the same thing, though. Like, I don't feel like the quote-unquote new take on it really differs that much from the original take on it. It's still the same bullshit.
So that's my first question for y'all, is, like, where do y'all stand on what these guys, or this group, stands for?
Well, first off, Kat, did you do any homework?
Yeah, I did do homework.
Because last time homework was assigned.
Screw you.
Oh, man. The fucking saltiness. I love it. I have a lot of opinions, but I'll let Kat go first. Answer the question.
I bet you would.
What, let you go first? Yes, I would let you go first. I'm a gentleman.
Yeah, ladies first.
Well, first of all, what I think about it, I originally, when I first read up on it, I thought it was just like a black Ku Klux Klan. That immediately I was like, because I've seen them on the news and everything, and I said this doesn't help anybody's situation at all. So I can't. I think it's more. It doesn't help the struggle. It makes it more of a problem, in my opinion, anyway.
That's it?
No, can I finish? Can I get my thought process
You were
together?
quiet for so long. I'm sorry.
It was a second.
Yeah, but it's so shocking when you are quiet.
Damn, sir. Attack him now. Thank you.
No. Well, just Jesus Christ, I mean.
Put her on the spot. Fuck yeah, man.
I keyed.
Probably not really.
Hey.
But overall, I don't understand or see the point to this racist group, because like Heavy said, I do find it racist because it's just going against white people. You're not peacefully protesting like the others. They have guns out. They're carrying guns.
Well, they're a militia.
Exactly, through their march. So it gives the police more of a reason in their minds to attack during their protest. So no, that's what I kind of feel on that NFAC thing that's going on. I'm just not with it. Now I'm done.
Oh, you had to throw that in there. Now I'm done. You petty ass.
I know I'm petty.
Ma'am, you good?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right. Repeat the question, and I want to see if I can like break it down a little further. I don't remember the whole question.
That's right, I don't either.
Oh God.
But it basically comes down to, with what this group has been saying and what they are standing for. You know, wanting to, or demanding, I should say, that the federal government hand them property so that they can create their own, in their own words, black ethno-states. Do you think there are people out there who see that as helping the cause or harming the cause, like Kat said, or do you see these guys as this group is just being like an insanely racist organization?
When you say racist, I don't know, like, I don't have a belief that that racism exists in the context that we all believe. So I'll leave that term out of my statement wholesomely.
Okay.
And then when you say cause, for what cause are they fighting for? Because they don't belong to any group other than themselves. They're not Black Panthers. They're not a Black Lives Matter group. This is a militia group who has an eye for an eye ideology, you know. And they basically said anybody who's been wronged and during slavery times, or anyone who's have slaves as ancestors, basically needs those reparations. You know, we want land, we want this. So whose cause are they fighting for? That's the first thing. You know,
it's I guess cause might have been the wrong word, but I guess a better way to reword it would be: can there be a benefit from what they're saying, or is it always going to be kind of detrimental and bad to the public at large's perception
It's interesting because I had a conversation with a friend the other day about violence in general, and violence begets violence. You know, it's a never-ending cycle. You threaten with violence, you get violence in return, and because of that violence, you know, someone responds, and then it just kind of never ends. So no, I don't think it helps anything, actually. Oh, you left, Gene? It says you someone left my fire team. That's odd.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, I don't think it helps anything. And the way they make the demands, which I'm sure you'll get into, because that's a whole nother topic on its own.
It really is.
Like, matters as well. Do I think they're a racist group? Yes, absolutely. They want to separate. You know, there's no difference from a separatist mentality. You know, you believe that you're oppressed and you want your own land or space away from the quote-unquote oppressor. You know, so I think they're racist, yes. I don't think they should call themselves a militia group based off of some of the videos the leader makes. You know, I'd prefer they call themselves just a separatist group, because essentially that's what they are. But more on that later. You can, you know, go ahead and move on to the next question.
Okay. Actually, the next question is about their demands. With what they have demanded, you know, the federal government to offer them land for their black ethno states, and the fact that he says, we'll take Texas.
Just straight up, we'll take Texas. Like he was
No,
window
straight.
shopping for states.
You know, and just exactly, as a, coming from a Texans mindset, there are three things you're never going to take from Texan. One,
Texas.
our state pride. Two, our guns. Three, Texas. Not in that order.
About to
I
say,
really
why
thought
is Texas last on the list?
Word, I thought Texas was gonna be number 2.
Nope, it's in no particular order. It is simply, there are people all over Texas who still remember the Alamo.
There was protest over by the Alamo not that long ago, right?
There was a riot over by the Alamo, and the Texas freedom fighters, the Second Amendment supporters, and open carry advocates stopped that shit dead in its tracks. Along with, you know, local PD, who was not playing around at all. Like, we had a one-night riot, and never again.
Because it was handled right.
Exactly. We've had protests afterwards, which 100% okay with, but never had another riot, which is why this this NFAC group really kind of puts me in such a weird position. Being a major Second Amendment supporter, I have no problem with them, you know, demonstrating with their weapons. None whatsoever. I actually would promote that more people do it.
Uh-huh.
You know, but what I can't stand is when people are using those weapons to threaten others. Whether it's through actions or words, leader says we'll take this as, you know, the land that the federal government can give us for our state. That, to a Texan, that's a threat. That means you want to come get you some.
Well, he said that we'll respond however you basically make us respond, and it will do it legally if you want to do it legally. That's what he said.
An exact quote.
So you really think, yeah. So you really think Texans are just gonna be like, well, state governor, give our state away?
No,
Absolutely not.
And Abbott is not the type of guy to sit there and want to give away Texas. Granted, there are times when our governor does things that just make me question.
But it's just the idea, like, I want to go to a place, where I want a piece of land where black people can stay and operate without government interference. It's kind of, for me, it's kind of odd to, be bold enough to ask for a whole state, for a single race of people, and then not want government interference, but you're asking the government permission to take the state?
Yeah, it's kind of ass backwards, isn't it?
It's kind of ass backwards. If it was me, I'd just I just go to Texas and start shooting people.
I don't think that's gonna work. That's not gonna
go
work
very well.
I'm just saying, like, why even ask? Because at that point, you done put a target on your head. Why did I come to the EDZ like a dummy?
Going for trying to hunt down nightmares?
Defeat Hive on the moon. Oh, I already finished it. That's why. Okay. I'm stupid. It's I don't know. It's very odd. You make this big public statement, and I guess like the idea of the ideology behind, oh, you get to own this land, like black people get to own this land, and it's yours, and you're allowed to, quote unquote, thrive and have this black utopia. Some people can get behind it.
I sure don't.
I can't. And the reason I can't is because what do you think is gonna happen? I mean, the last time any state or states tried to separate with a much bigger force behind it, yeah, it really didn't go well. You had Americans killing Americans, like. And all it serves is to divide us more, like kind of moving backwards there. We've fought to have the right to be looked at as a person and to be looked at as equals in the eyes of the law and to be beside everybody here in the country, We didn't fight to be like, oh, we want a space of our own. We're black. We don't belong next to you. That's not what was said.
It really wasn't.
So
I'm digging the hell out of this conversation right now.
So what are you fighting for? Like, it's not registering, and my head is steaming right now.
I'm not
gonna lie. I don't get it either because I don't understand what exactly are you asking for. You say a matter of fact, the fact that you're asking the government at all is mind blowing. You said you think somebody's just gonna give you an entire state?
Like when I think about it like this, like the worm eating the apple. It's like the worm is black people and the apple is the fucking. Like, imagine if the worm had to ask permission from the apple if it could eat it. What response are you gonna get?
I couldn't even imagine.
No, I don't want to be eaten. The fuck you mean?
No.
It just seems like an obvious answer. Like, how fucking dare you ask that you want something that we own? It's no different from how people would view people. Imagine someone coming to your apartment there, right, house, whatever, and going, I want your TV. Give it to me,
Yeah, no, not happening.
or I'll shoot you.
Or I shoot. Oh, okay.
Sorry, my gun's already out.
It's, I don't know, it's just weird to me.
I was about to say, I'm pretty sure Heavy has a gun, so I'm pretty sure that intruder would have been shot already.
Oh yeah. Like I've actually arranged my house to where I have full viewpoint of all entry points.
Thank you, other sword user. I'm sorry, I didn't let anyone else really talk on that. Please, please.
Nah, dude, that was.
That's pretty much
I
it.
thoroughly enjoyed that.
I did too.
Kind of just went on a
Like,
run.
after like finding out about what this group and this leader was after, and hearing some of the things he's talked about, some of the way he's acted, what's happened at his demonstrations.
Mm-hmm.
It's good to hear somebody who's, you know, calling them out in a way that you can't mistake. Like nobody's gonna be able to misconstrue that Krim's just Krim spoke wrong because he actually means this. No, Krim literally just told you that, you know, the fuck you mean.
Exactly.
I mean, the name... I've had a lot of conversations about hubris lately.
Mm-hmm.
And pride. And, like, how actually, like, meaningless it is. Like, for the sake of pride, so many things happen that shouldn't happen.
Yeah.
The Not Fucking Around Coalition. What a name.
Mm-hmm.
Like...
I'm not gonna lie, I was shocked when I looked it up because I really wasn't sure what that acronym stood for, and then I saw it. I was like, "Wow, y'all couldn't pick the better name for yourselves."
But my thing is, like, when you choose a name for an organization, I don't care if it's a fucking daycare. It kind of has to have some form of deeper meaning to it, other than we're not fucking around. You're not fucking around with what?
Yeah.
With the government, with like the people, with what? Considering that your group has an eye for an eye mentality, if civilians don't agree with what you say and they retaliate, are you going to retaliate in kind? You know, to the civilians? You know, there are questions there that need to be asked.
I could definitely see them being that type of group, you know.
It's very odd that you would name yourself that. Then you're saying you're fighting for black people. What black folk have you talked to that wanted you to escalate it to that level of violence, where you're basically demanding from the government what you want? And, quote, "We will not negotiate, give us what I want. Give us what we want."
Yeah, it's like, who the fuck do you think you are to demand any of this? And what gives this guy the right, or this group the right, to speak for
All
the
black people.
entire, yeah, for all black people? You know, did some of y'all miss a meeting on fucking Tuesday?
So all black people go to a meeting on Tuesday? Is that what you're saying?
I mean, I'm just throwing that out there because apparently
Damn.
there was a fucking meeting on Tuesday where, you know,
Where someone was like, Texas. That's what
somebody
we're
sat
taking.
around and was like, "Hey, look, this guy right here, this guy that we call Grandmaster J, because you know that sounds like a fucking legit title."
Right, he sounds like a fucking bad DJ.
Yeah. You know, let's just let this guy be the voice of all black people throughout the world. Let's let him go out there, pull a Joe Biden, ramble on about dumb shit, and...
This man said pull a Joe Biden.
And yeah, we'll just support him in this. It's like, what fucking Tuesday did we miss?
The most important Tuesday.
Apparently.
Apparently so, because I wasn't there for this meeting.
Why Texas?
Word, that's what my thought was. Why Texas? Is it because it's a big state or something?
It's the biggest state.
Yeah,
No,
we're like the biggest.
It's
we're not.
because
I mean, Alaska's bigger.
It's because it's.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Is it because it's like a, is it like it's because it's a southern state or something?
It's a state that you can realistically go for. You know, Texas, while Pride has a pretty damaged justice system, you know. If you were to fight for Texas in court, like, odds are, like, Texas would be its own undoing. And that's kind of sad to say, but I got Texans here.
I mean, you're not fucking wrong.
I'm not entirely wrong, you know.
There's
I'm not saying Texas wouldn't fight, but, you know, like I said, pride and ego can sometimes be your own undoing, and Texas has that in spades.
No, baby.
We do. We are very proud. We are very proud and hardy people.
You can't go for a juggernaut like New York or anything really over here on the coast over here. It's too well protected, you know. If there's anything this country would fight for, is it's us over here.
I mean, well, to be fair, if they went after Texas, they would have so many fucking people. Because it wouldn't just be Texas they'd be having to fight.
Yeah, it'd be surrounding states probably.
Oh yeah, they'd have to deal with the crazy Louisiana Bayou boys.
Are we talking the banjo picking Bayou boys or the ones that have no teeth Bayou boys?
Oh my god.
Oh Jesus!
You don't understand. East Texas and Louisiana have a very close relationship.
Yeah, driven through that.
The second somebody goes, we're gonna come in here and take over
East Texas
you know,
and Louisiana.
Texas, fucking them Bayou boys gonna pop out with their pet gators
They're pet gators.
and
Wow.
just.
Typical right now, my guy.
Hey,
I
I'm pretty sure there's still people out there that think I ride a horse to work every day. Okay.
All I'm saying, bro, is
Me like,
I've definitely went to a gas station
I mean,
where
I
they had
definitely
fucking
would.
gators that you could go and look and pet
That's insane.
in Louisiana.
That's
Hey, I'm just
actually
gonna say,
insane.
gator meat is actually delicious.
It's pretty damn good.
It is
I've heard
good.
that, but I
delicious.
don't. I heard that, but I don't want to risk to try it.
Oh my god!
Oh,
you
man.
go to Kat, you need to go to Louisiana or New Orleans and get yourself some blackened gator. Oh,
She can get some gator down where she's at.
nah,
Is it
it's
what?
gotta be. That's not real gator.
And the Linus?
I
You
mean,
saying that's not real gator?
Was that Louisiana?
You said where's she at, right? Where's she at?
South Carolina.
Yeah, no,
No.
no.
They just grow artificial gators over there.
Yeah, it's crocodile.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah. Was it before or after we hit the?
You heard it
fucking
here,
rock?
folks. You know, they grow crocodiles.
I'm over here just starting all kinds of shit.
Mhm.
Artificial alligators. That was funny.
That's some shit, bro.
Yeah,
But you know that's all I'm saying is that they're gonna have to deal
I
with
remember that.
the Bayou boys from Louisiana who just do not fuck around. They're gonna have to deal with every goddamn pissed off redneck Texan.
That's a lot of people.
That's a lot of pissed off rednecks.
It's a lot of firearms.
All right. This is from the Police Tribune.
Police has their own paper.
Yes, they got their own websites too, man. I mean, LEO News, all stuff like that.
The fuck? Really?
Yep.
They're a
That's
militia
pretty cool.
group dressed up almost entirely in black. That's one. Um, they don't have a swastika or anything or nothing that I've seen so far with the group name on it to actually represent who they are. They just show up with weapons.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's one thing. Semi-automatic rifles and shotguns, basically. And I'm sorry, I'm gonna die here in the game, and it might be a little bit boring because I'm reading some stuff live, but whatever. There was a rally, and 3 people got shot.
Yes, this story is going to be fantastic.
Sorry.
This story is going to be fantastic because I know this story. Oh my god.
3 people got shot and then laughter.
Well, wait till you find out why they got shot.
So 3 people were shot on Saturday during a black militia demonstration in Louisville, Baxter Park, by a group called the Not Fucking Around Coalition. The militia members gathered early on the day of July 25th, dressed entirely in black, with almost all of the individuals carrying semi-automatic rifles or shotguns. Just before 1 p.m., one shot rang out and 3 people were wounded when one of the militia's members accidentally discharged their weapon.
That's fucking cold. Oops, sorry. That's gold.
That's why I
Yes.
was laughing.
So
Yes.
there's 2 things about that statement that bothers me. One, they said they were all ex-military.
Highly disciplined expert shots.
I don't believe this. Not after that.
I do not understand how you are highly trained and, quote, very good shots with rifles. That's how it was worded. And your weapons are accidentally being discharged. In a group of all places where your safety should be on. But how did he describe the weapon discharged?
Oh, hold on. I want to clarify a little bit on this, okay? The weapon in question, such an old 20 gauge shotgun that if you go look at the video of when this happened, people in the crowd were clowning on them for it, saying that that's the shit that their grandpa used to go hunting with.
Oh, wow.
The barrel looked almost rusted through. The wood looked like it was falling apart. It looked like the cop couldn't even hold it with a strong enough grip, otherwise it would crumble.
Damn. Just damn. Why?
So, it wasn't even a rifle. Or at least from my understanding, it wasn't. It was a old 20 gauge shotgun loaded with buckshot.
Well, that's really old.
Wow.
Why load it with buckshot on top of that?
I don't know.
I wonder if that's the only thing, like, they would accept.
Probably so.
Well, considering, you know, the first picture to come out about these guys had a rather large individual with a 22 with a jam.
There's a video of the dude, like, pulling out a, was it an M15, right?
M16.
M16. He said, this was my first weapon that he got in, like, 1993. And I can't. I'll let the Texan do the talking here.
Alright.
I'll let the weapons be the weapons.
Alright. So, he makes this video, right? And he pulls out this 1990s style AR. Don't know if it's an AR-15 or probably some variant of. And he sets it up on the table, and he's explaining why this accidental discharge happened. I'm going to call it what it is, a negligent discharge.
Mm-hmm.
So he goes and he pulls back the charging handle on this AR-style weapon, and he's explaining that with the bolt carrier assembly in the lockback position, if he put a round into the chamber and slammed the gun, the buttstock of the weapon, down on his table, that when the bolt shot forward, that is what would fire the round from the chamber. If you know anything about guns, that's not how they typically work. In rare instances, yes, that can happen. I mean, that happens. That's kind of the mechanic of how Uzis work. But an AR will not fire if it is well taken care of and well maintained. It will not fire just from the bolt assembly slamming forward. If that was the case, it wouldn't need a trigger. Now, an unmaintained weapon, it could. The firing pin could snap from the hammer and slam into the round. It's happened. But it does not happen that often if you maintain and care for your weapon, which obviously the person who had the negligent discharge did not. So I would love for somebody to explain to me how this guy's explanation could make any goddamn sense to anybody who has knowledge of firearms, who has any kind of military or law enforcement experience. Because I'm drawing a blank on how this could work.
PK, you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
I'm not sure how deep into firearms you got in basic and whatnot. Especially with cleaning your weapons, the routine and everything.
I'm gonna let you know right now, man. Being a Navy cat, when I shot my gun, I literally shot a shotgun at boot camp 2 times. And they let me have an M9 with 4 rounds in it. And that's what I used for training.
You still had to take care of that weapon, did you not?
Nope.
Oh,
You didn't? They had someone take care of it for you?
They were janky Beretta M9s from like the fucking 90s.
Oh my
They were
god.
all worn to fuck.
Oh my god.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, no, man. These were not your
I apologize
typical...
for that vape drag.
Hang on, okay? I gotta give him all my stuff. Now, I was raised around guns, but military-wise, no. Oh, I didn't get to do any of that cool stuff.
That cool stuff.
I knew there was a reason we were friends, Gene.
Or what?
I've never picked up a gun in my life.
Not just the Texas bond that we share, but you know.
5 times.
I mean, with anything, if you're around weapons, if you know weapons, if you care for your weapons, there are just some things that are universal. One, the only faulty weapon is a weapon you don't take care of. You know, even weapons that jam, like, you can significantly reduce how much a weapon jams based off of how well you take care of it. How well you maintenance or serve that weapon. Plain and simple.
You treat
If
your
your
weapon
shit-
right, your weapon will love you.
If your shit is firing off because it slightly bumped the floor, you don't need to have that weapon in your hand. And I don't think anyone would disagree with me on that.
I wouldn't.
No.
This is part of the reason why, like, me and my wife were talking about it, where I feel like they made this public statement. This public statement's gonna bring people to their cause, whatever their cause is, because it's still not a true, clear purpose. And you're just gonna have a bunch of idiots with guns shooting for what they quote unquote believe in. I mean, and I'm a dude, I watch movies, and movies are based off of real life things that can happen. So you have this police force who's basically in this totalitarian mind state where their word is law, and you have this militia group who won't stand for it, who will eventually have the numbers to put up a fight against this police force. What do you think is going to happen?
War.
Straight up.
Good God.
Just straight up war.
What's scary is that the dude leading it don't know what the fuck he's doing. I'd have more respect for him if, like, he showed some level of competence that, like, made him dignified in some sense, you know, show some righteousness for what he's doing, but I don't really feel that. I don't really see it.
No, it just seems like all this guy wants to do is grandstand and make very divisive rhetoric.
Oh, where did you go?
And that kind of brings me to something else, you know, kind of, it's a little off topic, but would love to get more people's opinions on this. So for those of you who don't know, there was a shooting in Austin, Texas, which is our state capital. Gene, you might have heard about this. So an individual was shot and killed during the protest, and I know that actually sounds really, really bad, right? Like right off the top, you hear it. You know, protester shot during Black Lives Matter protest. Now, allow me to explain the situation a little bit better. So this gentleman was at a Black Lives Matter protest in Austin, Texas, where Gene lives, and which is our state capital. Before the shooting incident occurred, he is giving an interview saying that he's carrying the AK style weapon because he wants to exercise his Second Amendment right, which I am 100% okay with. If he wants to, you know, exercise his Second Amendment right, by all means, go for it, bro. But it's what he said afterward that made me lose a lot of sympathy for him. His quote is, "Nobody who disagrees with me will say anything when I have this because they're a bunch of pussies."
Wow.
Kind of makes it seem a little antagonistic, no?
Right.
Good. Right.
Well, you know, a motorist is driving around, trying to get around Austin, and they're honking their horn because these protesters have taken over the street, which, according to what I have read, they were not allowed to do for this protest. But they did what they usually do, and they swarmed the car. So this gentleman with the AK-style weapon is approaching this vehicle, and he gets shot 5 times by the driver.
Mm.
See, Gene, you got more news on that than I do. I've only got that part that I was speaking of. So you have more info on it than I do, which is awesome. Now I got Now I've got more. So yeah, that happened, and here's kind of where my question is for everybody here. Justified shooting? Oh, really? Oh, okay, I didn't know that. So, this guy really fucked around and found out, didn't he? Wow. Okay, so, knowing all this now, my question for y'all is, with more and more of these protesters bringing their firearms to these protests, do you see something atrocious coming very soon in the future because of it?
Dude, it's 2020.
That's enough. That's enough said.
Whatever can go wrong will go wrong. This is what I'm feeling like right now. But on a more serious note, matter of fact, I talked enough. Go ahead, Kat.
Well, to be honest, yeah, I will feel it will go wrong. But you asked, was the killing justified? In a sense, I feel it is because it was self-defense. You barreled up into somebody's car with a gun. That wasn't necessary, and therefore you put your own life in danger, probably not even knowing that person probably had a gun as well. So, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. The next going as, do I see this escalating into something worse? Absolutely. Despite it being 2020, but in all serious note, I just see it going wrong because overall, you're bringing guns to these protests, and especially the ones that are named a peaceful protest. If they're peaceful protesting, you a gun at all. That's what, yeah. It's, right. So I do see this escalating to something worse because always in my state of mind, things get worse before it actually gets better. So I see something happening, and people are going to learn from it once it does happen. So that's my stance on that.
Okay. Here's kind of another question then, because this is going to tie into a lot of like media questions that I have in future podcasts. So the story of this gentleman has kind of gone and made its rounds all over, and the news media has been trying to paint what happened as the driver of the vehicle decided to attack this man and his quadruple amputee girlfriend in a wheelchair during the protest because she's black. So basically they were like, he KKK'd her, or attempted to KKK her. But you are seeing that. You know,
Yeah.
you have been seeing that, haven't you, Gene?
What have you come to learn?
Very true. But it's kind of like, do y'all feel that we need to seriously reevaluate what and who gets put on the news?
Most definitely. I do, because even though, because when you live in different states, if the story's big enough, they'll talk about it, but they won't go into, entire detail because you live in a different state. But overall, when the people talk about stories, like you said, each station kind of paints a different picture for it. So they'll only tell probably their version of of the story that's actually happening instead of the whole thing.
there's no true news anymore.
And that's something we kind of try to achieve here with the podcast and having discussions. It's a great time to bring that up. You ever heard the saying that not everything is so black and white?
Yeah.
Having a discussion is kind of black and white. You're going to get opinions and you're going to get facts. And the essence of that is black and white, you know. The fact that we have different people here with different opinions and different thoughts, and taking this news that we received and sort of talk about it in a light where we can have this discussion is super important. Should our news be better regulated? Basically, what's your question, right?
Yes.
Absolutely. How would you regulate that? I don't know, and I don't think we're probably going to get into that. That's a big one.
That's a topic for another.
For another week.
Yeah, that is definitely a topic for another week. It was just kind of, you know, how does everybody see, like, how the media is portraying certain things? You know what I mean?
But here's the thing about the media in general, like. You kind of have to be like an ass just to take the news at what it says because it's the news.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's something I said in one of our previous podcasts. You know, just because Sally said this saw won't saw your arm off doesn't mean that it's true. The saw will most certainly saw your arm off.
Or only if you're not using great care.
But the point is that the saw can do it, regardless of who's using it. It's the same thing with guns. Like, for you to say that a gun doesn't kill someone,
it does.
Like, it's kind of a fallacy. You could bring up the argument, well, you know, a person needs to use it. That's not necessarily true. You know, almost 3 people got killed, and hey, the gun wasn't being used by a person. The floor used it. You know, like... Just because the news says something doesn't mean it has to be true. And I don't think regulating the news would change much of anything in that regard. People are still going to bend things to how they want to see them. Or how they want you to see them, you know? What I think should happen, quite honestly, is an education reform. Allow people not to be brainless, you know? Allow people to have a mind of their own.
Like how the education system works.
We talk about U.S. history. Let's talk about all U.S. history, not just the good
Certain
and
history.
the independence and the wars we fought to get this and that. You know, what about everything in between? How did we get to that point? Where were we wrong as a country?
Yeah.
What about the ugly history?
Exactly. Nobody ever wants to touch that.
It beckons us to come closer.
You know, Gene, I really wish you were sharing your audio.
Oh, you are? Like you put that setting on? Good shit.
Things await inside. There's no turning back now.
History
actually-
is written by the winners.
It
Oh,
is.
go ahead. Go ahead. Taking a minute to think.
Well, most of the time the winners had to do bad shit.
I mean, when you fight in a war, who really wins?
Yeah.
I was so Just a little further.
You know, you just get a lot of blood and a whole lot of nothing after
Body
that.
count.
That's it.
Yeah, you get the body count and
And the blood of your victory, if you want to call it that.
But let's continue on with this.
Actually,
This-
I'm sorry, Kerm, to cut you
Yeah,
off.
go ahead, go ahead.
To continue the conversations you had about guns. I know I wasn't on last week due to weather issues and everything. I don't know if this was brought up, or if you guys even talked about it on your own, because I know you guys stream together and do other stuff
Alright,
online.
You
This
didn't
is-
watch the stream?
Huh?
Oh, thanks, baby.
So you didn't watch the stream? I'm disappointed.
No, because the power went out. When I said what's up, I was on my phone. So that was that. But my question is, overall, I know people seen in that couple in St. Louis and Missouri and everything that they got arrested for pointing their guns at protesters. I want to know from you guys, what did you think about that? Because overall, in my opinion, do you think they were right? Did you think that they were wrong, or that they shouldn't have attempted to pull their guns out, or is the government right for taking their guns?
they were 100% correct for pulling those guns.
Again, if you're gonna have a weapon, let it be in the hands of responsible individuals. Like, I don't get why the country has a hard time understanding this very, very simple philosophy.
Because the definition of capable and responsible individuals varies from person to person.
No.
Yes.
They like to believe it varies from person to person, but there are actual set guidelines and rules and a very defined definition
And
of
for-
what responsible
You'd be surprised
is.
how many people don't believe that to be a good definition of responsible.
Oh, I get that point.
Which is why we have people who are like, we want to abolish, all gun laws. It's like, yeah, no, go fuck yourself.
That's the thing. The gun law isn't the issue. Again, it's just the people. Like,
I agree with that. I mean, because I don't think there's a problem with having guns and everything. It's your right, but it's how you use them, in my opinion.
Like I said, I think, Kim and Karen were perfectly fucking right for pulling the goddamn guns.
Oh, I do too, because the way it is, the protesters, they were pulling their guns out. Then these protesters had guns themselves. They were walking up on their property with these loaded weapons.
Well, it was also private property.
Exactly. So you pulled up on my private property, with your guns out. That seems like a threat. People were like, saying, "Oh, they're racist." Like, exactly. I don't. They were because I guess because they were a white couple and it was during, I guess, a Black Lives Matter protest. They were like, "Oh, they're racist." No, they were defending their property, because I would feel threatened too if a whole bunch of people were out with their guns on my private property. It looks threatening from a standpoint. I would say they were just protecting they're protecting their land and themselves. So I overall agree with what that they had every right to pull out their guns. To be honest,
I disagree with the treatment they're getting. But thankfully, the Missouri Attorney General is not going to press charges on them, last I heard. But gun rant over. Let us continue to talk about other topics.
I liked your second question in the chat because I was reading it.
it won't let me pick you up.
It says, your other question was in here. It says, what's your opinion on federal police making arrests and engaging protesters and rioters in Portland and other cities that were unrest still hasn't claimed calmed down? I kind of like that question.
Well, then have at it.
Well, overall, based on what I was seeing, I'm pretty sure you've seen lately. These people were arresting um, people of military, the retired veterans and everything, and I just thought that was wrong. I think one cop, if I remember correctly, either shot or injured someone, if I remember that correctly. And I said,
Uh,
this is and I said these are troops that our president has put into these certain cities unwantedly. At that, none of these governors or mayors has asked them to send in these troopers to stop their protest or keep in control of their city, as he likes to claim. And the fact that during these peaceful protesters, you injured a person of military descent. Why would you even go that far? So I think the police should be always be held accountable of what they're doing, and they shouldn't be arresting peaceful protesters if they're just, they're not pulling out guns, they're not, threatening police. So I don't understand or see the point of you arresting them.
okay. Lot to unpack there. This is gonna be fun. First off, the federal police are only there to protect the federal courthouses and federal property. Um, the reason they are doing what they're doing is because one, protesters have already tried to barricade up the federal courthouse and set it on fire with people in it. And as they are identifying these people, they are snatching them up for attempted arson, attempted murder, things like that.
Here's the thing, and forgive me for cutting you short there.
By all means, sir.
Here in New York and a bunch of other places, there should be a code of conduct as to how to deal with people in that situation. To sit and wait for a protester or an individual to walk by while you're in an unmarked van and you have officers in plain clothes and basically no indication of a police presence, to roll up in that van, snatch someone up off the street, and then ride out like you're kidnapping someone? Really?
I never said I agreed with it. I'm just throwing that out there.
We're living in a time where I think people are in this mindset that the ends justifies the means somehow. Like, just because the Joker tried to blow up Gotham City didn't mean that Batman had to snap his neck, and he doesn't. There's a couple versions where the Joker dies, but main continuity, Batman, the one that we know who doesn't kill. He lives by this code because it's easy. It's easy to give in to... I'm gonna use a gun reference here from Destiny. The wrong side of right. It's easy to say, I'm doing this for the righteousness of it. And because I'm righteous in this action is justified. Mm-hmm. When you get to that point where you believe that your righteousness invokes your version of divine punishment, you're wrong. At this point, there's nothing that governs you. There's nothing that says, hey, you're taking this too far. Because what's righteous is what's righteous. And this goes for both sides. There's no reason why anybody should be trying to set anything on fire. Why is your opinion of how things should be done the only opinion that matters? Mm-hmm. But at this point, they're not doing it in the name of righteousness. They're doing it just because they can do it.
Yeah, it's lost a lot of the original meaning behind it.
Right. That's also something I was talking about with a friend, literally just yesterday. the idea of righteousness and how you get to choose what's right and what's wrong based off of somebody else's actions. But I'm gonna stop there because I'll ramble on for hours.
I mean, it's a good topic for us, considering we do have differing views for the most part. You know, like I don't agree that they need to be rolling up with unmarked vehicles and just snatching people off the street. But I do think that, you know, whether or not the mayors and governors of these areas have asked for the federal assistance, it still falls on the federal police to do what they can to protect federal property.
Right.
So the second somebody starts attempting to set a federal courthouse on fire and barricading it up with people inside, at that point it kind of takes, you know, all the gloves come off.
Yeah, but that's in the moment. This is after the fact. Like, you're snatching people up in a group of protesters. You know, people have nothing to do with the situation, and then you're pepper spraying them and have blockades being set up because they're trying to defend this person who they don't know has any involvement with anything.
Throwing tear gas and everything.
All these people see is, hey, there's a van snatching a person up.
Like I said, I'm with you.
Snatching a person up. That emphasis.
And then you got, you know, the exact opposite going on with the protesters, throwing fucking frozen water bottles, blinding federal police officers with lasers.
I don't know. It's a crazy, crazy world out there, man.
A lot of these so-called movements have lost a lot of supporters just because they've now officially gone into extremist territory.
Right.
Now, they've become more than rogue agents.
Well, I mean, and this isn't to defact from the topic at hand, and it just kind of slapped me because I'm playing Destiny. What do you think about, like, how the masses react? Let me rephrase that. What do you think about the hive mentality and how that has an effect on how the masses react to things? In this case, civilians versus police.
Oof. The hive mentality is, to me, one of the greatest curses of mankind.
What do you mean by
And
that?
You can take, you know, like I'm going to use this group as an example, right? We all have, you know, varying opinions on a wide array of topics, which, for the most part, we can all sit here and civilly discuss, whether it be, you know, anything from abortion rights to whether or not, you know, some new made-up gender is real, and anything in between. The hive mentality I say it's the greatest curse because the second the hive mind infects people, all conversation goes out the damn window.
Okay.
You can no longer have a conversation with the hive mind. You would literally have to single a person out in order to have that conversation.
Sounds like PK has something to say on that. No.
I mean, that's a very, very, in my opinion, peculiar statement. Because at that point you start getting into that this is a bunch of fanatical thinking or rash, abrasive people lashing out, and other people are just gonna naturally be like, oh, that person's correct. But you can't, like, I'm not gonna lie, I agree with Heavy saying that you have to get that one person away to truly engage and be like, this is why this isn't right. But for people who are in that mindset, it's already ingrained in them to where that's just what they know, and it's almost impossible to change their thoughts on that.
I mean, what if you're not trying to change their thoughts, though? What if you're just trying to get them to see your side of the argument, see your perspective?
I think that's kind of the same thing in their mind.
Yeah.
That you'll even like try to sway their opinion, even if it's just you're trying to get them to see your point of view.
Damn, shut me down. Okay, you got it.
No, I mean, I'm just saying, because
No, you made a good point. Like,
because people are like that. That once they already have what they want in their head, they get on the defense once people try to, try to change their mind.
Yeah, and I can give you an example of two extremes that I've experienced, where the hive mind has ruined any chance of having a conversation with anybody who subscribes to those ideas. One is the gun rights. You know, if you look into the God, I can't talk now. If you look into the gun culture, there are a lot of people who think, one, that we should be able to purchase whatever kind of firearm we want, without question, all that. As a gun owner, I kind of support that. I mean, I kind of dig the system we have right now where, I can't go buy a fully automatic weapon unless I go through a long, involved process.
Right.
But, I don't think anybody should be able to go out and buy a belt-fed M249. That should be reserved for very special cases.
But you got me, it would be pretty cool.
Oh, I'm not going to deny that at all, which is why I'm happy they have the civilian version now, the 249S, which is a semi-auto version. But I digress.
I'd like to take this time to point out we don't promote gun violence over here on this channel. No, like, real talk. We don't promote gun violence here on the channel.
No, not at all.
We don't.
We talk
Or any
about
type of
weapons.
violence.
We talk about weapons and this, that, and the third, but don't go out and buy a weapon to harm anybody. Go to the shooting range. Play some disc or whatnot, but like, don't go out there and harm anybody.
Yeah, as much as I talk about guns and as much as I love them, I will be one of the biggest advocates for gun safety out there. Because not being safe with guns is what leads to a lot of people getting hurt. And it gives good gun owners a really bad name.
Oh, that's an interesting statement. It gives good gun owners a really bad name. That literally applies to everything we're talking about. The hive mentality.
Like all the peaceful protesters that are out there actually supporting the movement that they're protesting for, they get a bad name because they are lumped in there with the fanatics that pull dumb shit.
I agree with that.
If people did not do dumb shit, we would not have the view of the protest that is being circulated on both sides.
Something to say that with the hive mentality, humanity is very hypocritical. There's not one thing that we say here that can't be countered or argued, and that's sort of the beauty of opinion. For instance, when it comes to police, I am not a big fan of police officers.
Me either.
That does not mean that I'm anti-police. That statement itself is hypocritical. How can you say you're not a big fan, but how can you not be anti-police? Well, I don't think all officers are assholes.
Exactly.
And you know, I've had a lot of situations in my life where, you know, I've had some real asshole officers approach me for little shit.
That only
Stuff I
happened
haven't
to
done
me
at
once.
all. I mean, I can recall a situation where I was sitting in a park watching a soccer game, a little league soccer game being played, and the police rolled up to me and threw me on the hood of their car to ask me if I had drugs on me or if I had anything that didn't belong to me, and you know, shot off a couple rounds and put a heated barrel on my back. You know, like
Ooh,
there's a
that's
reason.
fucked up.
There's a reason why I don't like officers, you know.
Mhm.
But
Yeah,
hey, you know, I got officers in my family who's not like that. For me to say that all of them are bad because a couple of them are bad, like,
That would be wrong.
I mean, I guess it's just me.
Yeah.
This is why I don't understand the hive mentality, because everybody, everywhere, I feel like, has an officer in their family somewhere who isn't displaying the actions that other officers are.
No
So
doubt.
for you to say all officers are bad, well, you know, Auntie Lois, who's been serving proudly for like 30 years and has been your breadwinner for 30 years and took care of you for 30 years, that's saying Auntie Lois is corrupt and she kills people unwarranted.
I mean, you're not wrong.
That's me. I'm sorry.
No,
And
no, I completely agree with that.
No, dude,
I agree.
never,
I be sorry
never-
for that.
never apologize for your opinion, my man.
Exactly.
It's a habit. It's a habit. I'm sorry. Look, see. It's a habit.
You know, we've been gaming together long enough, Krim, to where your opinions are yours. You know damn well I don't hate somebody unless they've actually earned that hate.
Right. Right. But you're a fair individual.
Yeah, it took a lot for me to get to that point where I'm like, I fucking hate this person. You know,
As
case in point, I hate that asshole who pulled the Las Vegas shooting. I hate that motherfucker.
Oh, that's a touchy one.
I don't know him, but because of what he did, I fucking hate him.
Right.
You know, do I hate all these, I actually, you know, as much as I bitch about the protesters, I support their right to protest. I want them to protest. But I don't want them to do the dumb shit that follow that hive mind mentality of doing dumb shit.
Fair.
Anything else, I'm right there. I'll be right there supporting you. Which is
Fair.
why I hate the hive mind. Because they'll look at me and I'll be like, hey, look, I'm here I want to support your protest. But if I don't follow that exact type of,
Mentality.
cause that they have in mentality, I'm the enemy. When all I want is for everybody to be able to exercise all of their rights as Americans.
I feel like there's a topic that we can go on for a couple hours.
Exactly.
That I feel is actually important to bring up, and I'll just take note of it now. Actually, is what does it mean? What does being an American actually mean to us as individuals?
Oh, that's a good one. We're gonna have to
Oh,
dedicate
wow.
an entire podcast to that one.
Word, I say we just dedicate an entire podcast to that, because that's an long, in-depth conversation.
You know, we throw around the term Americans, and when this is me personally, and I know for a fact you'll disagree heavy.
Okay.
I don't like being called an American. I don't feel pride when I hear someone call me an American.
Fair.
And there's a lot of reasoning behind it. it's a shit ton of reasoning behind it, but you know, I don't feel pride.
Why do I feel like you were expecting me to just be like, what the fuck?
No, I didn't expect that. I just know that you disagree. Like,
I honestly, well, I kind of agree with you. Sometimes when people say, oh, well, you're an American, that's not really something to be completely proud of. Like, what makes you think it gives me a good pride to be called an American? Like, oh, that's your American pride. What do you mean? Like, do you know kind of the dirt and stuff we had to go through, the ugly, like I said, like we were going back before, the ugly history that endured for us to be the way that we are?
but another topic for another time.
Definitely another topic for another time.
We ain't going to get too far off. We're over here 120 minutes. Good lord. 1 hour and 20 minutes here into the stream. Have you guys taken the time to hydrate at all? Has anyone been drinking water?
I have.
Oh yeah, I've been chugging water this whole time.
Okay, I just gotta make sure.
I appreciate it, Dad.
That's crazy. My whole life, people call me Grandpa because I'm like, I don't know.
You are like a grandpa.
I shut up. Yeah.
Yeah, you are, Gene.
It's just the way I am. I'm sorry if I'm a pushy dad. I know y'all grown.
Stop. You are our granddad, Grandpa. But anyway, you know, coming up with more topics for next podcast, which could be awesome. Is there anything else you guys wanted to add about the girl police and anything like that?
No.
No, all that can be discussed for another week.
But since Kat got to bring up the next topic, I guess I'll bring up the next topic. And that was defunding the police.
Yes.
Yes. The question here was, would defunding the police actually work in these uncertain times? What would be gained and what would be lost? And I'm glad you added those last 2 points there. What's your opinion on it there, Gene?
Gene, you so
Because I didn't even get to finish. He already has something to say. So I was like, yeah, go ahead, dude.
Why?
Okay. Heavy.
I think it's the wrong way to go. Because, you know, just like what Gene had said, when you first start to defund things, the first thing that goes out the window is always training. And with the way a lot of things are going and what the protests used to stand for, the one thing that we can't afford to get rid of is police training. Now, exactly. To improve anything is going to cost more. Fanatical terrorists like this message.
Oh my god. I don't know I don't know what to do with you some days. Good God, man. I should be the YouTube algorithm, right? Shh, you're not allowed to say the T word.
He said things that I don't agree with. Censor. Hide!
Good lord, man.
Fucking bring it on, Susan. But, you know, you do lose a lot of what police need more than ever now. You know, they need training. You can't just sit there and be like, you know, oh well, we're gonna pull all this funding from police and expect them to be like, oh, it's okay, we can still do our job, but you know. I mean, of all things, why the bomb squad? Yeah. It's like that dude was sending packages out through FedEx, right? Oh god, so you had another one? Because I know there was that one that everybody was talking about. He was like shipping packages out through FedEx.
I'm a little lost. Wait, what's happening?
Oh, okay, he did both. Oh, okay. That's right. My bad. I forgot about that. I apologize.
What? Where is this madness going on?
A word. I thought I was the only one. I thought I was the only one.
This is Texas news? Excuse me?
Oh yeah, this was going on. This like, yeah, this legitimately happened. This guy, like a year or two ago, he was he was mailing out bombs through FedEx and all these other means, right? FedEx, UPS, DHL. So basically what was going on is after the first like two went off, they started really looking for him, and one of his bombs actually went off in a FedEx shipping plant. So they were hunting him down. He blew himself the fuck up. And that was over the course of what? I want to say like 2 or 3 months.
The root line is trying to keep us from that spire.
Something like that, yeah. Like he wasn't just constantly mailing them out. No, he handcrafted his bomb. There was another report of a bombing.
We did such a good job killing it the first time.
I'm speechless.
And lost. Me too.
I'm not lost. I'm just speechless. Didn't I say earlier, like, I'm a dude who watches movies, and a lot of real life situations
Yep, you did say
are
that.
what movies are based off of?
Yep.
That's shit straight out of a movie. Like, got this crazy dude walking around mailing bombs to people. Wow.
One of those modules must be generating the field.
At first, I was gonna assume it was happening in Florida, but nope.
I did too. But it was wrong for us to assume that.
Yeah, when Texas goes off, like I've said it before, you've heard me say it, Grim, when Texas goes off, we go off.
Right. It's just why, I don't know. I'll never understand the minds of other people.
Oh, you?
Well.
None of us will.
No,
I mean we're not hard to understand.
Like, everybody has their titles or whatnot. People are still just people to me. That doesn't change.
Like pretty much like everyone said, defunding the police sounds completely stupid because like everyone's been saying, they need that money for training. They just need 10 times better training of what they're doing now. Because I don't exactly. I don't think they should. The police department. Do you know the type of chaos that would endure if y'all just defund and close police stations down and everything? You're acting like we don't need the police, which is not true. We do need the police. We just don't need these untrained assholes that racially kill and shoot people unnecessarily because they, in quote, are afraid of their lives. If you have the proper training, you have no reason to, quote unquote, be fearful of your life of something that's not there. Or especially if you misread a situation, that is what your training is for, and to de-escalate a situation before it goes any further. So no, defunding the police is completely absurd. And go on.
Kind of begs the question though. Do you really need the extra money to train the officers? You have veterans there who train them anyway. Why leave key parts of the training out of their, you know, their education or curriculum for these officers?
Because technically they don't train.
You do get training. It's not like extensive
You get training,
or massive,
exactly.
but like
That's
you
what
do
it needs
get
to
it.
be. It needs
I say
to
better
be
training.
extensive.
I say better training, like especially in.
You know,
yeah,
you go to the police academy for 3 to 6 months. I mean, you in 3 months learn how to be a fully fledged soldier for the military. You know, like
The military and the police do it differently, though. The military will break you down to build you up. The PD takes you as you are.
That's fair.
That's honestly the biggest difference is if you take somebody into a police force that can be molded into a good officer, that person will not become that good officer because they have a lack of extensive training. It's here's your police academy, here's the laws. Then we're gonna slap you in with an FTO who's gonna, you know, leave you through your 90-day probationary period, or however long it is.
I think it depends on state.
Yeah, but it's still, that's it. And then it's like, well, annual training and through in-service?
I guess, yeah. I guess.
Yeah. And unless you go to a specialized unit, your basic patrol officer is going to be is always kind of left out in the dust, training wise.
I don't think defunding the police is the right thing to do. Again, I feel like the model that's being pushed around should be reformed.
Yes, 100%. 100%.
So it's pretty safe to say we all kind of agree of defunding the police isn't the way to go.
I was gonna say I don't also like fully believe that not defending them, you know, that won't work in its own regard. It's sort of, I view the police sort of like how I look at the MTA. They're essential, and I get that they're essential here in New York, the MTA.
We just pulled the plug on this Spire's art network. Rex are pretty angry.
But if you're already not using the tools that you have to do the right thing, why would I need to pay you more money?
I agree. I can agree with that. I think there's a little more to it.
Osiris, you said this was your simulation.
You know,
Well,
like
your pet Vex left us
I said, I'm a huge advocate for the reformation of policing. If they turn their budgets, which, you know, and started digging deeper into, you know, actual training and what's the word I'm looking for? Evaluations of potential officers.
Mm-hmm.
Then I think that could be a much better turnaround and use of funds than anything else. Because I know
like
a
you
lot
gotta
of the
earn your funds. Like, I don't feel like police in general. And again, this is a bias on my part because I don't agree with like how officers conduct themselves. You gotta earn your pay, like, like,
Obviously.
yeah, nobody's saying just give them free money.
No, no one said no. No one's saying free. Oh, free money here.
you know, police departments all get varying different, you know, fundings from the government, whatever. And I get that I definitely get that. Why is it starting? I don't want to start. But like, I was hitting circle. Well, I'm sorry. I had needles in my hands today.
The hell were you doing?
I had to get blood work done, PPD, all of that good stuff for work. And
Gotcha.
this lady had trouble getting a needle into my veins. I got pricked probably like 9 times in all different locations.
You got those epic bruises?
I don't bruise, luckily, but I do, like, after the prick happens, the blood will start to flow, and I bleed, like, pretty fast and pretty heavy.
Oh, that's no good.
Yeah, so I have 3 bandages on me right now. I took the other ones off. I had 2, she poked me 4 times in my wrist, 2 times on like, my backhands, like, 2 times on, like, where my elbow should, I don't know. Stupid. And then she asked me what she wanted me to do. You the fucking doctor. You tell me. Don't make me reassure me.
Isn't that your job to know?
Welcome to the show. We've got
But
several fire teams missing. They need
I feel like a lot of police departments do just get a set amount of funding that's not deserving. And as a New Yorker, I say that, you know, like, police don't really do their jobs like they're supposed to here in the city. And that's just right.
Exactly.
Right. That's why I said, like, I have a bias. This is just, you know, my opinion. I'm not speaking for everybody. But I feel like they receive way too much money to do a job that they don't really do, and then to break laws that they're supposed to abide by. There's a lot of places here in New York where there's no police presence and it's always peaceful. That's just me.
I can definitely get where you're coming from. You know. And you know I'm not that one who's going to sit there and just be like, well, you're wrong. Not on something like this, anyway.
Yeah. We talked about
Like,
that in a previous podcast.
100% right there, yes. If they change the funding and like I had said before, put it toward more expansive training and better pre-screening of potential officers. You know, just like everything else, you know, one of the biggest things that I think PD needs is they really need to be able to work with their communities. Yeah. And to me the police issue is two-sided, because you have the police aspect of it, but you've also got the community aspect of it.
Watch your back out there, sister.
Mm-hmm.
You know, reforming the police isn't going to do much if the community in and of itself keeps their attitudes toward cops the same.
Right.
Now, I'm not saying, you know, somebody has to change their attitude instantly, but one of the biggest things that gets me is this whole, somebody gets gunned down, nobody wants to compromise, and then you got, you know, some innocent person gets gunned down, and the first thing out of everybody's mouth is, oh, hey, remember, snitches get stitches.
Mm-hmm.
You know, change that fucking mentality as well as the police's mentality, and we should be good. Or we could be good. Let me rephrase.
Hive mentality. Just
Exactly.
throw that in there.
The hive mentality needs to be eradicated.
You're so right.
But,
You are entirely right.
Very much true.
you know, I don't think anything good will come until we as a country get off our fucking asses and come together to think, you know, we want these changes, but the only people that can give us these changes are ourselves.
How do you find one light in a sea of lights?
Yes, sir.
For a minute, I thought you was gonna say get off our asses and exercise.
I mean, I know I personally need to do that big time. My fat ass does need to get up and exercise. But we need to stop relying on others to do what we have to do.
True, true.
You telling me what to do in my life, sir?
Yes, exactly. I'm telling you exactly what to do. Stop letting people tell you what to do.
No, fuck off. It's my life. I'll do what I want to do.
All right,
If
fine,
I
do it.
if I want to believe that President Trump will give me anal, I'll let it happen. Okay?
What? What?
I mean, Krim, I knew
Okay.
you were into some freaky shit,
Oh
but I didn't
my
know
God.
you were down with the Cheeto dick.
It's been okay.
Bruh,
It's
Cheetos
an
is
hour and
where
20
it's at, my guy.
Okay, it's been an hour and 24 minutes. That's the podcast.
It's been an hour and 43 minutes.
Oh, 42 minutes.
Hour
Excuse me.
43, 22 seconds so far. I got the timer right here.
I think this has been one of our deeper podcasts.
I mean, we had a whole conversation on racism that got
Question,
pretty deep as well. Yes.
True.
Yeah. Question: who won the Devil's Advocate last week?
Oh, we didn't play it because you weren't
We
there.
didn't play it. Yeah.
Oh, well, you could have.
Nah, it's more
No.
fun when like, because the way he explained it is like I would pose a topic and I'd have to pick who was for it and who was against it.
Oh yeah,
And
my
then y'all
wife
would have
would
to
have
argue.
been there to join, but what the fuck? Game, fix your shit. Sorry.
I'm expecting to hear, God damn it, Bungie.
God damn it, Bungie.
I knew it was coming. But yeah,
but-
so those have been my thoughts. Those are the topics that I've had. If anybody wants to add to it, by all means.
Anybody? PK, Gene, nobody?
Nope.
All right, cool. This has been a podcast with Some Salty Gamers. We're here to talk about the world, politics, gaming, things like that. Next week's podcast, we will focus on gaming. We'll save a little bit more of those heavy topics for another time. We've kind of been focusing on them quite a bit here lately. If you want more gaming, go ahead over to Twitch at Crimson-Waters. I stream just about
All the time.
every other day. Right now, I'm.
Well,
Yeah.
God, Gene.
Yeah, it's a lot, man. I do 2 or 3 podcasts a week, not including this one. And then I got to do the streaming, and I still work on top of that. I'm just trying to grind for some money, bro.
Again, I go back to my statement of, I know I don't work nearly half. I work half as hard as you. I'm half as tired as you. All right, that was.
It's almost like PK trying to flex.
No, not at all. This man busts his ass. Compared to him, I'm just a fucking a scummy person.
I mean, compared to him, I'm one of the laziest bastards out here.
Exactly. Bro, I work a structured 8 to 9 hours a day. That's it. And even then, I just yell at people and tell them they're idiots and tell them to go to work.
So you do Dr.
That's
Phil's
all I
job.
really do. Dude,
You fucking...
oh my God. When we are on the podcast, I got a story for you. And
Anyway, that's been
it's a
the
doozy.
podcast with your salty gamers, Heavy since 1911, Monoshiro, and of course, me, Crimson Waters, aka Mitchell. Is there anything you guys would like to say as an outro? Any shameless plugins you want to throw in there?
Bye, Felicia.
Continue to wash your hands. Don't be disgusting.
That's like her ATC to everything. Wash your
But
fucking
what if
hands.
I want to be disgusting?
Be ashamed of yourself.
We love you all. Thank you, future viewers, for watching. Take care. Have a great night.